Baltany have just sent me one of their latest releases and it's a little bit different. You might glance at this watch and think, that's a nice little dive watch, perhaps a skin diver inspired dive watch. In terms of its proportions and its size, it's actually quite similar to the Exciton watch that James and I created. But the truth is, it's not a dive watch, it's a pilot watch. You don't see too many pilot watches that look like this. It has a rotating bezel, a bi-directional bezel with no clicks whatsoever. It's smooth. The markings on the bezel inserts, well, it's a countdown bezel. When you start to look at this watch more closely, you'll see it does resemble a pilot's watch more than it resembles a diver. And these days, you really don't see too many pilot watches that look like this. And because Baltany have made it, you know it's been made right. NH38 inside of this watch, so no ghost position on the crown. The build quality is good. That bi-directional bezel action, well, I said it's smooth. It is smooth. There's no clicks or bumps. There are a couple of sort of high spots in terms of the resistance. The resistance is actually quite high, but then it just gets a little bit higher briefly at a couple of points around the bezel. It's a minor thing, really. I'm pleased to report that the finishing on the buckle on the strap matches the finishing on the case. That was something quite a while ago that I used to complain about because sometimes they'd have a bead blasted finish on the buckle and the case would be brushed, or the buckle would be polished and the case would be bead blasted, but these days they always seem to match. And I have to say, I think it's a cracking looking watch. I quite like the slim bezel, the dimensions, the proportions, the dial design, the hands, the numbers. The lume is printed onto the dial. I'll show you the lume degrading at the end of the video. The strap is nice enough. It's a fairly simple leather strap. The buckle is nice though. It's branded. There's no branding on the crown or the case back. Screw down case back, screw down crown, 100 meters of water resistance, sapphire crystal, AR coating. The bezel insert, according to the listing, is ceramic. It's got a matte finish to it, so it could be mistaken for an aluminium insert. But because of the way the markers have been engraved into the bezel, you can see it's not an aluminium bezel insert. It is, in fact, ceramic, and it's been done very nicely. Those engravings, super clean, super crisp. Under macro, the watch holds up, as they always do from Baltany. And I think it looks great on my wrist. It isn't the biggest watch. It's not a huge pilot watch. And because the lug-to-lug length is quite short, it looks a little bit stubby, but it's not actually that thick. With the double-domed sapphire crystal, I'm measuring 12.3 millimeters. Bezel diameter is 38 millimeters. Lug width is 20. And I measure the case length at 43.1. So it is going to suit average and slightly smaller than average wrists, rather than larger than average wrists. And I think, fortunately, I've been sent the best looking one. There's 3 available. White dial with a black bezel insert. I do like that, but for some reason I just think black on black works. There's also a black dial with a white bezel insert version. I'm not keen on that one at all. The markers on the bezel are almost invisible. The white dialed one is nice, but yeah, I think this one looks fantastic. And I think once again Baltany are demonstrating to us all why they are quite often people's favourite AliExpress watch brand. They just seem to go the extra mile, don't they, to get things right. And this is another example of exactly that. Another great new release from Baltany. I'll put a link in the video description to where you can buy this watch. It will be an affiliate link. If you have any questions, add a comment. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, or hit me up oldmantimegary@gmail.com. Guys, as always, a massive thank you from me to you for watching. Take care, look after yourselves, and you will hear from me again very, very soon.